SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
All right, obviously interesting weekend last weekend, and Friday night, probably definitely one of the more exciting games I've been involved with at Munn Ice Arena, and a lot of people that have been here for a lot of years probably. One of the more interesting and exciting, and you end up on the right end of it. So there was a lot of good there, and I thought Saturday night, first period, we did an outstanding job. I thought our guys were focused and skated, moved the puck, took the body, got out of it 0-0, and I think we hit a post and had a couple other great chances, but still felt pretty good about it. And then I thought, in the second period, our legs stopped moving a little bit. We started getting a little bit more spread out, and ended up just defending too much, and then the game gets going the wrong way, and then some odd penalties in the third period. So I don't think it was as bad maybe as a score seemed, but still on the wrong end of it. But overall, some good positive steps for our guys. There's some things that we're seeing that we're real encouraged by, and 4 games in 7 nights, 3 of them going overtime that's an awful lot of hockey for guys, and there's a reason that we only usually play 2 in 7 games with and then you throw in the emotion of Big Ten games, the emotion of the Great Lakes, the emotion of a U of M game. That's a lot out there. So, we've got to figure out a way to get better in those games. And usually if you're a little better veteran team, you can manage a game or work through it when you don't have quite as much energy. But that's some of the lessons we'll take out of it, and we'll get ready for Penn State. And it's going to be another great test for us on the road with a really good offensive team.
Dan, 3 quick questions for you. First of all, talking to people who are there, the crowd stayed. The crowd was in. You're down 7-4 in the third period. I mean, to you, when you look up, those are the old days that maybe your players are not old enough to have witnessed. How do you translate that to your team?
Well, we've talked a lot about it lately in terms of energy and excitement and doing things the right way, and really going through a process and getting rewarded. And you can't get away from certain things, and that's what we talked about, and we've been talking about it and building on that. And when you have some success, you should get some confidence out of it. So you just try and build those layers. You're passing stop signs or mile markers. And the guys have to go by each and every one of them before they get there, right? And that's what you got to convince them. And sometimes everybody's like little kids in the back. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? But these are good things they're going through. Battling back, like that doesn't happen very often. We're down 3 goals twice in the third period, and to come back, that just doesn't happen in college hockey or in the NHL. So those are real positive things, and you want that energy, but you also want that energy. When things don't go right, you have to find a way that you bring that all the time. And a lot of times it's a psychological decision that you're going to be up and you're going to be motivated. And if you're not having a good game, you're finding a way to block a shot. You're finding a way to be good on the bench and always contributing to it. And that's what good teams do. That's what winning teams do. And those habits are hard to get into when you haven't won a lot. So, we try and reinforce the things that we want to see more of and stamp out the things that don't help us get there.
What does it mean to you when you look up at 7-4 in the third period and that crowd is as loud as they are and they're there? I mean, talk about the crowd for a moment. Yeah,
it was, first off, it was a really good crowd. Coming back, if we'd had the students there, it would have been a sellout. And, it's break, and those are hard. It's a hard weekend for us ticket-wise, but it was an outstanding crowd. We had the Stanley Cup there. There was a great buzz, even in warm-ups, and it was really rocking and rolling there. And but the guys are starting to get that feel, and they're saying, "Hey, this is what Munn can be like." And we've had a bunch of crowds like that this year, and I give the students a ton of credit. So, but that's what you want, and you got to keep performing. I mean, it's a little bit of the gladiator syndrome. They're going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down at the end, and hopefully you get more thumbs up. But it's an awful lot of fun, and the energy and excitement. Again, if you could bottle that we had in the room after that game, it'd be tremendous. I think I had over 100 texts after the game, and I talked to a lot of people the next day, and they were, "Hey, we're at a restaurant," and people in there were talking about the game, and that's the kind of buzz we want. And I think that's where MSU hockey should be, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Lastly, you've learned of several commitments to your new hockey facilities that have yet to be announced. Can you give us an update? I know there's things you can't say, but how is that coming? Do you know when they're going to be starting to announce several of these that are known but yet not publicized yet?
Yeah, I hope sooner rather than later, because it's kind of, there are some that are out there. There's 3 or 4 very big ones that'll add to what we have, and I think that'll, put us in the, somewhere north of $11 million once those are all fulfilled. That puts us in a really good spot. And kind of keep pushing through, and then we'd really like to be at over 12 by next June, and that'll enable us to get going there and keep recruiting to get to the 60 million. So that's moved along really well. It's real encouraging. Meeting again with the architects on Wednesday. I think that'll be our 3rd or 4th meeting with them in revision. So yeah, things are moving along, and we just want to make sure people know that, and write checks, get involved, get your name on a building there, Fred. All right.
It's a small building. Go ahead, Neil.
Danton, Penn State has been averaging almost 5 goals a game most of the season. What makes their offense so difficult to defend against, and their success is obviously their offense?
Yeah, well, you know what? One, they've got the guys that can get up and put some pucks on net, and 2, they do a really good job of generating speed coming into the offensive zone, and they put a lot of pucks on net. Their D are real involved, and they attack. It's not just you'll see sometimes we'll get a shot, and I can tell you in the second period there was a few times on net, and the goalie sees it all the way from blue line. You've got 2 guys in the corner, and that doesn't happen with them. Goals are scored around the net, so they get pucks to the net, and then they bring a lot of bodies to the net, and and that's their mentality. They're going to attack, and they're going to find space, and they're going to put pucks on net, and they're going to make you go turn around and find the puck, and it's very hard to play against, and it's a great way to play.
Well, one of their top players that you mentioned or talked about, Evan Barrett. You coached him with the National League Loan Program. Did you know he was going to be this much of an impacting offensive player? Yeah,
he was with the other birth year. So but I was there 2 years with Evan, and you know what? He's a really good leader. I know. We loved him around there. He worked really hard. Had a great shot, and he was with a group that he was a big part of in terms of scoring. This is a pretty good pace for a true sophomore, which we don't. Most guys are just starting college hockey at his age, or they're a year away. So maybe not this early, but definitely had the parts. He had the big shot. He's tough down the middle. He goes to the net. So the goal scoring, really hasn't surprised any of us that know him that much. He's a good player.
And on Friday night, you score a double overtime goal. The crowd goes nuts. The team's going crazy. Ohio State feels like crap, and it's a tie. What were the people in the Big Ten drinking when they made that rule?
Well, I can tell you, I voted against it. No.
Did you?
Well, I didn't. I would have rather had. Again, I wouldn't say it was a Big Ten. We were stuck in a situation coming out of the meetings in Naples, the NCAA meetings, where we really came to no decision, and so the NCAA said, we're going to stand pat, you have to play 65 minutes of 5-on-5 hockey. Excuse me. And we had left it at that. So just like the old days, if it's a tie, it's a tie, kind of like our game against Michigan at Little Caesars. And I was fine with that. Our issue with the Big Ten is we just, when 5-on-5 hockey ends, we want the RPI and the NCAA playoff configuration to stop. If you want to play after that, that's fine. So about a month afterwards, a lot of leagues complained that they needed resolution. They either wanted a shootout or a 3-on-3, and that's when we got the directive back. Hey, 65 minutes, then you guys can decide whatever you want to do. I don't mind having the shootout after that. I don't mind having the 3-on-3 after that. I think having the 3-on-3 plus the shootout plus 5-on-5 is just too long. You're 30 minutes on that ice sometimes. The ice is bad, play is bad. So I would guess, if I'm looking forward and thinking eventually what'll happen, because you're right, no one's really happy with this right now, is that we'll be at probably 60 minutes, and then we'll just do what the NHL does. Then the RPI will be over. It'll count as a tie. Then you play 3-on-3 for the extra point, and then shoot out for an extra point.
If you'd scored in the first overtime at 5-on-5, is that a win, or is that also a
win? That's the first 65 minutes are the same way it's always been in the NCAA. Right, exactly. So that's just done for the Big Ten or whatever league, because nationally there are ties. The Big Ten, we don't because we have 3 points for every game.
So you're celebrating getting a point.
Yeah, that's a big point. Celebrating the passion and the glory of the game of hockey, Fred.
All right.
Why, you wouldn't celebrate? If you were playing, you wouldn't have celebrated after
I
that?
think it's silly.
I think Neil almost ran across the ice.
It's silly to score the winning goal and call it a tie. It just makes
But that's not the
sense.
winning goal, that's the
It
three.
is the winning goal.
No, it isn't.
Then why play it?
Because the fans love it, and the players love it.
For the standings in the Big Ten, that's why. All games are 3 points.
It's stupid.
No, it isn't.
Aside from the progress, the fact is, other than that game that didn't count as a win, you haven't really had a winning feeling since November 30th in the Michigan game. How do you build confidence without winning games?
Well, I build confidence by shutting out a U.S. team that's averaging 5 or 6 goals against Division I teams, beating them 1-0 at home. That builds confidence. You build confidence by, hey, played a hell of a game against Michigan, and I know it's a 2-2, and that one did end in a tie. But that was a pretty good game. That was a pretty good battle. Turning around, I think in 15 hours from the time we left the rink, 14 and a half or something like that, time we left the rink, the time we had to come back, and that's a pretty good mission. You build confidence by being down 3 goals twice to probably one of the top 4 teams in college hockey and coming back in, well, technically not a win, still scoring the last goal of that game and getting that. So I think Logan Lambden should get a ton of confidence out of that. How can you not scoring a goal in a game like that, coming back 8-7? And really confidence comes from doing a lot of little things well. And when you do a lot of little things well, those things happen. And I know, hey, it hasn't been a 4-0 streak, but you know what? If you look how the games have played and how we're playing, like I said, you get 3 out of the 4 games to overtime and a Saturday night, that is what it is. Ohio State's going to beat us on some nights. That's not really a bad thing. So I look at it maybe the other way, where we've had maybe 20 minutes of average hockey since November 30th, as opposed to, hey, we haven't had this. And those are the mile markers that you want to go by, and those are ones that you want to build on, and those are ones that you have to reinforce to the players. So I'm confident. Hopefully they'll feed off of that. Fred, and I'll give you a Big Ten meetings conference call. You can represent us.
I do, this doesn't make any sense.
I'm with you.
It's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
I'm with you.